Hello everybody and welcome back to the Go for Watch League Rumble in the Junegle Qualifiers Week 2. We've got ourselves a pretty good match out of us today. It's going to be a London Lumberjacks going up against the Bendigo Bilbies. I'll be your playbackcaster Booney, and alongside me today is going to be Meme Supreme. And Meme, this match, you should feel pretty hype about this after seeing these two teams in Week 1.
Yeah, I mean, the Lumberjacks, of course, had that slugfest against the Rincewinds, and it was basically highlighted by Mikey's DPS play and the return of Crazy Flames. And the Bilbies, of course, that terrifying player in Khan. Everybody knows how good this guy is. Always scary to face on that DPS when he's on Hanzo, when he's on Kree. And this should be a really good match between two teams that haven't lost yet.
I do want to highlight as well. We got some differences between these two teams in their first iteration. We got the Bilbies. I'm going to say Beebles about 15 times today. Get ready for it. Grandma's going to be in for the main support role, it looks like. And while the Lumber and Tree State's going to be on that main tank role for the Lumberjacks, we've got Treebeard coming in, 3Beard coming in to play that main tank, and Rexact moving over to that support role, which should be interesting because of how good, Rex actually be doing on that off-tank role last week, going toe-to-toe with Bonesy at times. So, should be interesting. And of course, Grandma coming in, the Season 2 champion, Season 0 MVP, intramural god that he is, coming in to carry the Bilbies.
Yep, and for the first map, of course, we have Busan. I don't particularly know what either team will run here, but, of course, Mr. 3Beard, known for his amazing Reinhardt play. And we should be seeing Brawl here, and it looks like we are, even though it is downtown.
This is kind of the advantage, though, if you're running against the Bilbies with this, roster. You can put Treebeard, and Papa Tree stays really comfortable on that Reinhardt, so it's what she's going to be picking a lot of the time. She can swap over to that Monkey, but it's not quite as proficient. This seems to be what they've been practicing. But I want to highlight this off-tank battle we got going on between Fancy and Crazy Flames. This should be one hell of a matchup here to watch. Fancy coming in, of course, as a rookie this year, but a veteran to the Overwatch scene, competitive. And Crazy Flames, of course, known around UMN as that off-tank player. We start off on the beats part, but as we move on this first fight here, it's going to be this Brawl. Just hanging out towards the point here, waiting to see anything happens. However, Crazy Flames does still have that ball to project. Fancy going in the backline, though, tries to isolate target. Looks like we'll find Khan. They're going to jump on Khan right away, gets flashed, and Khan is still alive. Mikey will find HP sec, though. So it looks like this fight's going in favor of the Lumberjackslams, despite a pretty early engage coming in from the Bilbies. Fancy will find Mikey, so it's a good trade. But Rockstar finds Graham's Immortality Field, so that cooldown is out of the fight. Oh, but Khan's going to find Potatoes, and probably find another there with Crazy Flames going down as well. So despite all of that, the clutch factor from our Season 2 MVP, Khan, is going to come in and win the fight here for the Bilbies to begin.
Yeah, it looked really bad there for the Bilbies at first. They seem to have caught Mommy Milker out in the open as the Lumberjacks tried to force point here, but in the end, the bubble was forced from Crazy Flames, and they did get the first pick, but Fancy able to catch Mikey on the flank and just punish him, and after that big source of damage was gone, it was just kind of a slugfest that ended in the Bilbies' favor.
Yeah, but here we go. Treebeard moving forward, has that shatter building up here. I mean, just walks past Tree State, does not pay her any attention. Garmin has that wind above. Here comes the Dragon Strike from Khan. Will split the team and forces Brawl to be off for position. Their slam comes down, though! It's a huge one! 5 people down! Treebeard finds that big shatter shot off. Michael clean up Papa Tree State. Here comes the bomb out from Fancy. Will gain thing. It does not matter, finds Mikey, but he's already got 2 at the high noon, so the damage is done. And it looks like the Lumberjackslams and turns fight around off a huge play from Treebeard.
Quick little 5-man shatter there. I don't think Papa Tree State was expecting the shatter to be built faster than hers, as she did win the fight. But the nice 5-man shatter. Credit to Dirty Doge for actually hiding and beating in time to save his team, but Mikey able to follow up with High Noon and just cleaning up all the kills.
Here comes that early window from Grandma, but the DM is caught out there. Crazy Flames wasn't born yesterday, Fancy. Throws out that huge grab dragon combo in the top fielder, but it doesn't matter. 4-man, 4MM coming through, cleans up the 5th as well. It appears HV Sec is saving himself the 6K by running away back to spawn.
And not much you can do when you're the Bilbies there. All you could hope is that Fancy eats that grab, or you just play around the grab and only get your Reinhardt there, but as soon as Grandma pops that lamp, I mean, Treebeard is just in there with the hammer swings to kill it immediately.
Here comes a high noon from HP Sec for the engage. They break the shield. Tree Stay gonna get Shatter going down, and it's a 5-man. The response from Tree Stay. The beat from Rex Actor is a little bit too late, but Mommy Milker will find Grandma. 3 picks come quickly here off the beat from Rex Acta. And somehow it looks like the Lumberjackslams have stabilized on this point, despite a huge play from Tree Stay.
Yeah, it seemed like almost the opposite of what happened in that second fight happened there, where it was the Bilbies with the big shatter and the Lumberjacks with a huge beat to keep the team alive. But this time, the defensive team was able to capitalize somehow with the Bilbies just falling one by one.
They will have the Collister from Potatoes, puts out that orb, looking to use it right now, goes in, Treebeard has that shatter, looking to take it down. But it looks like Tree's gonna fall here soon. Here comes the shatter, gets Grandma, and the charge on a Fancy as well. Treebeard with a value shatter there to pick up Grandma, get that Baptiste healing out of the fight, and with 91% and counting, it looks like this first point is gonna flip here in favor of the London Lumberjackslams. And Crazy Flames in the spawn just grabbing, so he's having a good time.
We did note that there was the different off tanks at the beginning, but we didn't mention how the Lumberjacks were running the Moyer instead of the Baptiste, and I think it worked out for them pretty well. You know, Baptiste, of course, known for his insane AoE heals and the broken ability and immortality field, but Potatoes is able to build his coalescence fast enough, I believe, to compared to Grandma, and you know, it was really a difference maker in a couple of fights there.
Really was a difference maker, and I mean, as we know, we look at it, we have Potatoes with 6.5k healing, about 6.4 actually, and Grandma with only 4.8, so kind of missing that, you know, that huge advantage that Baptiste can have in these brawl compositions of just putting so much healing out by shooting at the floor. And Dirty Doge, you know, matching your Baptiste in healing is okay if you're a Lucio, but you should be on speed, it seems, a little more if you're getting that much healing already in one round.
And we should also note the damage differential between both teams. I mean, it's pretty staggering how much the Lumberjacks are doing, as we have a fight near drum here.
Fight near drum, both these teams are going at it right now, but bubbles are exploded from Crazy Flames in the flash on a Treebeard. Will force him to back up a little bit. Tree Stay can hold this space, but Tree Stay flying low herself! Both Hanzos find the Reinhardt on the trade, and I mean, Crazy Flames is all charged up here and ready to move forward, but HVSec will find another, but is that going to be up to Crazy Flames here to clutch with the 100 charge, but falling so weak. Potatoes can't keep him up. Fancy, though, getting melted, but the overtime field there is there from Grandma. Will keep the off-tank alive. Fancy falling pretty low, but Grandma is there for their spots, and Khan will get another kill. The DPS duo here of the Bilbies coming in clutch in this first fight, Khan especially.
Quite unfortunate that Mikey dies early there. You really need that damage force to be alive, especially when your Reinhardts are down. No shields on either side to help. You know, you got DM and Friendly Bubble from your D.Va and Zarya respectively, but in the end, Crazy Flame's not able to stay alive, but he does build a grab nearly in that first fight. And
here comes an early window from Grandma. They find Potatoes again early, and here's the Dragon as well on top of it. A little salt in the wound there from the Bilbies as they start to clean up these fights here, and the ult advantage here just is building. It's looking pretty scary here looking at that bank.
Yeah, looking at that fight, I know that the Lumberjacks really want to just press W. Crazy Flame's probably saying he has grab, that he's just waiting for that D.Va DM to go down, but the window and the Dragon on the side of Khan just did so much to zone out the Lumberjacks, and they're unable to grab in time.
Unable to grab in time, and here comes a high noon, but doesn't matter. MM will get that headshot, and Treebeard just charges in and finds Dirty Doge. The Immortal Field is there for the Graviton Surge, but the Shatter comes through from Tree Stay, but she can't follow up anything, as there's just too much damage here on the side of Lumberjackslams, and a bomb out from Fancy trying to remech here. But this seems like a pretty desperate play, and instantly demeched already, and yeah, you're gonna want that bomb back if you're Fancy.
Yeah, considering that the Lumberjacks only had to use grab there, I would say the bomb is less than desirable, especially when we had that high noon and shatter pop from HVSec and Papa Tree Stay. The ult economy is just way in favor of the Lumberjacks. I see them winning 1 to 2 fights in the future here.
Let's go a bit to Fancy to either these DPS ults. Mikey has that high noon looking to peek out here. Cheesefake can't get anything. We'll find 2. The DM just goes down, and the Shatter to follow it up a 3-man slam from Treebeard. Yes, 3 beards in the building. The fight was already won, but puts a little extra sauce on it.
Yeah, and back to ult economy. I mean, they used 2 ultimates without the Bilbies surrendering any, but in the end, they just had such a big advantage that they're taking it into this second fight with both support ults and a dragon.
Yeah, MM has not had to use this Hanzo just as of yet. Here comes the Dragon Strike right down main, tries to split him up, but will split up Papa Trista from her team. And Duradoz is forced to use that beat early here in the fight, probably a little earlier than he probably would have wanted here. As we move in, Grandma so low off a flank from Mikey, a well-timed flank to get that Baptiste out of the fight. And without that huge substantial healing, as long with your coalescence, there's no chance here for the Beebles to win this fight. And the Lumberjackslams going seemingly to match point here with this last fight.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't really like the dragon there. It did cut off Papa Triste, but they weren't able to capitalize on the separation. But it did force out a pretty messy beat from Dirty Doge, and by the time the beat ran out, the team just got back together on the side of the Bilbies, and then the Coalescence was able to just farm everybody on that team.
Grandma has that window, but here comes the Dragon Strike out from Khan. Will separate Treebeard from the squad, and just charges right back to safety, and somehow stays alive through that charge. Here comes the beat as well out from Rexacta. Trading players back and forth here, but it seems that the Bilbies have a slight advantage here to begin. The high noon is out from Mikey. Can't get anything. There's no immortality field for Grandma to use. And a huge grab from Crazy Flames. Locks down multiple members of the Bilbies, and Fancy is just left alone, flying around desperately, but does not matter. And the Lumberjackslams, a strong showing here on Busan a bit, start us off today.
Excellent team play. I love that from the Lumberjacks, even though Treebeard does go down early because he gets separated from Dragon, getting him so low. Crazy Flames builds grab fast enough so that he can suck them back into the LOS of that high noon. And Rex, of course, able to beat his team alive, you know, keeping them alive enough for that grab to be built in the first place. Just absolutely a fantastic play there from the Lumberjacks.
And that huge Dragon Strike combo coming through to win that first fight. Grandma, you know, 9 immortality field does prevent it, but you could argue that just could not get nearly as much value as Potatoes with almost 50% of team healing. Like, that is just stupendous coming up from your Moira player. And if there's no Anti-Nade or anything to deal with you on the other side, the Moira gets so much value in these rush compositions.
Yeah, I mean, the Lumberjacks, you know, you mentioned earlier Rex was no longer playing that off-tank role, but I mean, Crazy Flames, he's a pretty good tank player in his own right. I mean, it doesn't matter, he's a main tank player. You know, that brain still translates. He's got the aim for Zarya. I mean, he was getting mad value there, and you know, the Bilbies, they might want to find a way to counter the Lumberjacks here. I mean, that brawl was just looking so clean from them. Maybe just stray away from the brawl v brawl. Don't really want to play into your opponent's playstyle. Not going to end in a good situation for you.
And it does look like we are going to Hollywood as our next map. Now, this one surprised me. To say a Sigma composition perhaps come out from the side of the Bilbies. Sigma spam, because Fancy is known mostly for that Sigma play or that Hog, either or. But we'll have to see exactly what to try to go up with here. I do need to update the score, that's my bad, but... And now the Bilbies did win map 1. I need to click my right things here. Scuff production. I, of course, didn't give myself enough time to accurately do a good production today, so... We're stuck with this. But I mean, the Rhine Sigma composition, perhaps on the attack here, wouldn't be surprised to see this be run. And the Khan on the Doomfist does not last very long. Sadly, we cannot scream Coomfist. Unlucky, very unlucky.
Very unlucky indeed. But you know, as you mentioned, they have Sigma, so I expect more high ground play. You know, more poke, less aggression. While the Lumberjacks, rather than the Hanzo, they're just going full brawl. We have Maycree just gonna press W into the enemy team.
They were trying to play a little less aggressive to let Grandma get a little more value in the longer fight with those heals and see if they can't perhaps make Potatoes waste his resource before they get to him. But as they move in here, it's gonna be Khan flying extremely low. MM just chucking those icicles down main and finding 2 shots right on Khan, but luckily gets out alive and feeds Grandma some ult charge here. But it's going to be just spam comes in. They're just sitting on low ground at the moment. They're giving us high ground completely for free, but the Lumberjackslams opting not to take us, running into him right now, forcing them off the point. Crazy Flames is very high charge. Khan is on the high ground, but MM takes him out there. The secret agent mission on the high ground. Ultimate fight, a huge charge from Treebeard, but Fancy will respond with the kill. The immortality field is well timed there by Grandma. So it's not a one fight either way yet, but Lumberjackslams would be a huge advantage here, especially if Fancy gets frozen here by MM. Going huge on this May, opening that fight almost as a blizzard here as we open up the end of A.
Yeah, crazy opening to that fight. I remember just walls up onto the high ground and Khan just maybe just didn't expect it and gets absolutely bursted down. That's a huge damage source, and your only high ground control down on the side of the Bilbies. And without that, they just kind of crumbled, and it showed right as we saw in that fight.
Oh my, Crazy Flames going down to like 1 HP there. Thankfully, he gets back to the help of his squad. But Potatoes has that Coalescence here. Could perhaps look to use it here to engage. As it looks like the high ground control is being fought over right now. Neither team really able to claim it yet, but looks like the Bilbies will finally get up there with their Sigma comp. Spamming down main with those orbs. And I mean, they're just waiting for them to drop and try to take this fight. Fancy goes down, has that gravitic flux though, lifts many members in the air. It's a 3-man flux and slams them all down, but the Coalescence is there to heal them right back up. So no value really obtained here, and here comes the Blizzard from MM, tries to lock down someone, and it will be Papa Triste. She's just outside the mortality field from Grandma as well. With that high noon from Mikey, it looks like another fight win here for the Lumberjackslams. Khan will find Mikey, but to little to no avail.
Interesting how that all transpired. We saw that the Lumberjacks really wanted high ground, but the elevator just wouldn't let them. In the end, the Bilbies got that high ground control, but they didn't really end up using it really well as they're coming in faster, don't want to get that second point taken.
Both Ryans have shatter here. Here comes the high noon out from HV-Sec, finds 2. No need for the shatters. HV-Sec will pop off with a 3K there. A nice shatter there. Treebeard forced to use that shield to try and stop that shatter from coming through, but absolutely no chance against HV-Sec's high noon there.
Treebeard, unfortunately, out in the open, did not shield that high noon in time. I don't think it would have mattered in the end. After all, that high noon was just in immortality field. Is going to charge up either or. But interesting to note, the Lumberjacks did not use any ultimates during that fight for second point. As Crazy Flames is up alone here.
They're all trying to get in the elevator, but it left them up behind. And they just run up there and lose 2 instantly. Just the spam damage coming through from the Sigma. As well as Khan is just too much to deal with. As they're forced to retreat there, and this attack has staggered pretty heavily here. Now the ults are building for the defense yet again.
Nice flash by HV-Sec. I believe it caught at least 3 members, and you know, once you're stunned, you literally can't play the game. So they just kind of get cleaned up there. But the late kill on Khan allows the Lumberjacks to kind of take free space here, and they do just that.
Fancy though, uncontested, big shatter, locks down 2 members. MM and Crazy Flames are down, but it doesn't matter, she will pay for it with her life. And a nice grab from Crazy Flames. Actually, I don't think it hit anything, my bad. Miscall, I think it got the cart. And Khan with that tactical visor finds 2. Can he get a third? Treebeard has a shatter, maybe used to win this fight. And they do find another kill. Potatoes will lock down that Coalescence as well. Such a sloppy fight from both sides. Right now, but Potatoes with that Coalescence look to finally beat the difference maker. Oh, and a late beat from Dirty Doge. Will it be enough? Treebeard, the charge just locks down Triste. And Crazy Flames returns on that Wrecking Ball to seal this fight. And despite a nice early opening from Khan on Tactical Visor, they can't do anything as the Coalescence is just too much to handle.
Yeah, crazy fight there. Rex able to keep everybody alive with his beat. And it just boils down to 3v3 there. If you're the Lumberjacks, you just have to win fast. Potatoes just knowing that, popping Coalescence and cleaning up all those kills. Crazy Flames coming back fast on ball. And they're able to win that second fight, albeit pretty sloppily.
Oh, Khan, we'll get that headshot opening onto MM, so it's a good start. And Grandma has the window as well. So much damage being pelted through it right now. Khan able to find Crazy Flames in about half a second with those storm arrows. And the space is taken back yet again. Triste flying so weak, but she does not care. The critical is not going to stop her. She just jumps forward and Khan gets another kill. So a good hold here by the defense will get this door hold going.
Grandma showcasing how powerful that Baptiste window can be. Only 1 pick, but I mean in a 65 against the window that deals double damage to anything that passes through. You don't want to push that. You just kind of want to cut your losses, you know, go back to spawn, wait for your spawners to come back and get a better fight going.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if we want to stick on this ball composition that much longer because you're losing that brawl potential and you're kind of getting walked over by the more spammy composition here of the Bilbies. But here comes the Blizzard in from MM. It's a nicely placed one, locks down many members, but Grandma has the immortality field there. Will it be enough to keep him alive? It doesn't look like it, as 2 will fall quickly with the Coalescence there from Potatoes. And so many ults being used right now. 2 kills from Triste from just swinging on cart. Perhaps holdable here for the defense now, as there's a lot of members alive. Rex Active will find HV-Sec in the back line. X Active is going huge here on the battle, Lucio. on the Reddit frog in the backline, but we finally get to see it. The Coon Fist is out. Gets a huge uppercut by Mikey, just barely staying alive with the flashbang, and he just goes right into the minefield. Not what you want to see. And the shatter from Treebeard finds nothing but air, but it couldn't be good enough here. As a big slam from Crazy Flames coming in clutch on the wrecking ball. My bad, I questioned it. I said he should swap, and he shows me why not to on that last fight there.
There's just so many ults on the side of the Lumberjacks. There's not really much you can do when you're the Bilbies. I mean, Rexacto was just in your backline, farming kills. Crazy Flames, of course, mining point, and it caused the downfall of, I believe, 2 players. Notably Khan, who was on that recontest, unfortunately unable to kill anybody on that huge seismic slam. But yeah, very clean attack on the side of the Lumberjacks. 2 minutes on Hollywood. I mean, that last point is no joke to push.
Especially going into such a strong high ground controlling composition like the Bilbies were running with the Sigma, with the Soldier, and but they couldn't do anything. They just pushed cart, and then it's like, okay, come fight us. What are you gonna do about it? And what they did was die and get sent back to spawn. So, like you said, a very, very good pace here set by the Lumberjackslams. With, I mean, what some people could argue not their strongest roster, looking so good today so far. I mean, we do say not the strongest roster, but you have Treebeard as comfort role of Reinhardt. Crazy Flames, of course, was an off-tank player before he played main tank for Pizza Fire, so this is not an off role for him per se. And, I mean, Potatoes and Rex is a very strong backline, so this is not a throw roster by any means, but a swap coming through here for the Bilbies as they're going to go to that Zarya comp, and maybe Khan's going to play that Junkrat. No.
Yeah, if I'm the Lumberjacks here, I just want to continue playing fast. But if I'm the Bilbies, I'm wondering maybe we just gotta, expend their resources before we expend ours. We have Baptiste, they have Moira. Moira's heals are, finite. The regeneration can be pretty slow. And I just want to see a little bit maybe slower play here from the Bilbies.
Looks like that's kind of what you're getting here, as though Fancy is 100 charge, so looking to press forward that advantage, but Treebeard is just running into the backline, swinging that hammer, and that's going to just charge in, too. Absolute Chad plays coming out from Treebeard, already 75% to his shatter, and that's an aggressive play again coming out here, and there's so many, they almost have shatter and Cole here with that play.
Yeah, crazy aggressive play from Treebeard. I love to see it. Just press that W key, no fear. I have the team behind me. My team's better than yours. I can just run you over and not fear my death.
And to say that Treebeard has improved since the beginning of last season, okay, never mind, I was gonna say how good he is, and now they get 2 kills from HP second Khan. The charge comes through, but the flash is there to meet him. Will not lock down Tree Stay at all. So it looks like the Bilbies have opened this point right up with the help of the DPS. Oh, and I was about to sing your praises and you do that. Come on, Treebeard. No better than that.
Hate to see that. You just gotta, in that case, you just gotta swallow your ults. Don't use anything. We've probably lost, in the 64. There's no way we can really do anything. But at least they have high ground, and if you're the Lumberjacks, you're hoping that you utilize it a little bit better than the Bilbies did on their defense. And with the pick on Khan, I'm thinking they have time to set up for an even better defense here.
I will say at the end of A there, Fancy had grab and Crazy Flames is only 43%. Illy gets some big right clicks here though to build up towards that grab very quick, but Fancy still has that advantage here, and Khan 8% away from that grab dragon combo. Could be devastating with Rexacto not having the beat just as of yet, but here comes just a jump in from high ground. So many ultimate used by the Graviton Surge, and the High Noon is just simply too much for the Immortality Field from Mikey. That's your first round pick, ladies and gentlemen, coming up huge with the 3K.
Big ultimate combo, but we saw 3 ultimates being used, and Treebeard, when he used that shatter at the first fight there, or second fight there, excuse me, he didn't really build any charge here, and now we're coming up on 6 ults on the side of Bilbies. I mean, you just have to hope if you're the Lumberjacks, best case scenario probably, they use a lot of ultimates more than they should, and you come out with a somewhat equal ult economy in the end.
So much free card push being gained here, but drops down with that Blizzard. Here comes the grab. And Dragon combo there. Will it be enough? It gets 3. So despite the Blizzard coming through, it looks like the Bilbies have again secured a fight by only using 2 ultimates here, and now to be able to push through the end of B with 4 to use. And Mikey and Stagger is absolutely devastating here for the Lumberjacks defense.
I like that play from the Lumberjacks, use your ult first and hope they react with more ultimates than they should. But the Bilbies had nice discipline there, only having to use that grab drag combo, and in the end they come out with still a much better ult economy with 4 ultimates.
Shadow comes down, knocks down 3 members, but the beat from Rexdad is there to help keep them up here, and such good sightline play there by the Lumberjacks to avoid HV Sex High Noon, so all the else being used and really nothing gained here for the Bilbies, but they will get Mikey here on that off angle, on that flank, got caught lacking there with the pants down. Coalescence is almost there for Potatoes, but Treebeard falls so low and no resources here. But the shatter is huge, knocks down 3, the beat from Dirty Doge tries to keep him up. Can they stabilize here? Treebeard will go down, but Crazy Flames has that grab, and that wall is well placed there from blocks off Grandma's healing, and Crazy Flames combining with for a big play there to hold the defense for just a little bit longer.
Excellent trust in teammates there from the Lumberjacks. Treebeard getting so low, but he's able to just stay alive long enough. And Mikey, even though he died on that flank early, he's able to come back in time to get some value. with a great wall on Crazy Flames grabs, as you said, cutting off Grandma's heals. It's excellent team play there. I mean, Potatoes also keeping the team alive. Rex also keeping the team alive. It's just insane how they're able to come back in that 65.
Aggressive move on the high ground here, and oh, Rexdad goes down! Khan with a nice play there, and Treebeard is so weak. Managed to get back with the team. But Mikey has that high noon perhaps to try to steal this defense off a little bit longer. Oh, but HV Sec has one as well, but gets flashed out of it, I believe. Guess nothing. But they don't touch! They C9! And that's terrible, because that was 3 minutes left for the defense to push here, and they got ult building.
Yeah, letter number space LOL exclamation point in the chat, please. We have that in this match, of course. And it's quite unfortunate. I think that fight could have been winnable. Even though there were some early deaths on the side of the Lumberjacks, the Bilbies weren't really pressing the advantage too hard there. I mean, Rex died pretty early, but it seemed as though Mikey was picking up the slack a little bit and getting kills for his team. But it's quite unfortunate that they committed that C9.
Now Trista has that shatter here as well, but a nice grab from Fancy to pair with the dragon. They have no chance against the Rexdad. It was 2% off from the beat when that came down, so about perfect as timing as you could possibly get there for the Bilbies, and they're going to push forward. If they can get these stagger kills, it would be great for their attack. Oh man, 2 kills here on the back of it as well. And had that Blizzard. Can they find a third? Doesn't look like it there. As one more fight here for the defense to hold. Grandma with an interesting window there coming out here. Mikey has that high noon, but the beat from Rex Active will keep him alive, and the shatter finds nothing from Triste but a corpse. And Mikey coming up clutch here. And now just I'm gonna say it, a pretty sloppy play there from the Bilbies.
Yeah, they just had so much space there. I mean, excellent grab drag. Of course, the Lumberjacks not running a Baptiste, and Rex too far away to commit that beat for his tanks. But in the end, like, even with all that space, I mean, the Lumberjacks able to commit 3 ultimates, and despite committing 2 of their own, the Bilbies unable to cap the point here.
And now here comes a grab up from Crazy Flame, just looks to yeet in again to see him just jumping forward. The wall from is used, but they find nothing but Tails goes down. So a little bit late here on the grab, but is down, locked on many members, and he's there to put in the damage. The Great Immortality Field is not there in time to keep him alive. But it's not a one fight yet here for the defense, as the Blizzard finds absolutely no value, and Fancy has such high charge here, walking forward with Grandma's heals. Can it be enough, especially if Fancy 10% away from the grab dragon combo, to get this defense to finally break it? Looks like they're gonna retreat here for a little bit here.
I mean, I would be scared if I was the Lumberjacks there. I mean, you use your grab, but you actually just traded kills instead, and you didn't use your mail in time, and you got pretty bad value. And now they have grab drag again, and it's looking to be really bad here.
The grab dragon finds 3, and the high noon from Mikey finds 0. I'm not a mathematician, but 3's bigger than 0. Dirty Doge with a celebratory beat there. Rex just trying to run around as best as they can. Are they going to kill him? He's just running around with a cart by so much time. How is he still alive? Perhaps a contest from the ball coming in here, and Mikey's back on the Tracer. Can they get to overtime and stop the attackers from having a chance to gain the win? Grandma gets that kill. HB Sec as well. Treebeard has to touch the cart. Has that shatter. Looks to drop it down on Patrice and knows he's got it. And the shatter finds a shield. 50 shield damage pop, but Prieste knows what's going down here. And it doesn't look like the overtime hold is going to come through. And yes, I mean, Rex is still there, just running around, and now Crazy back on the ball. They could get the overtime here. It's just possible Mike gets a cut, and they get overtime. That's a huge play for the Lumberjacks!
my god. You know, they're gonna lose this, but if you're the Lumberjacks, you're saying, you know what? We got our victory. We cannot lose this map no matter what. At worst, it's still going to be 1-0 map score in our favor. I mean, great play there from Rexact. I mean, he stalled, I believe, almost like 40 seconds on the payload just by existing on the map. Crazy Flames and Mikey just hurrying back to point on the fastest characters, Ball and Tracer. I mean, if you're the Bilbies, you just got to clean up there. I mean, you just got to clean up your kills as fast as you can. It doesn't matter that, you know, maybe like somebody dies because of riskier play. I think you just gotta try to play for the win. I mean, it's kind of unbelievable that you don't get time there.
Yeah, that was a really nice play from Rexact. I mean, I saw him there, and he's kind of shooting at him, and then like, okay, and then he gets shot at, and they don't do like anything special. He's not doing a cool wall ride maneuver. He's just jumping around, and they can't hit him. He's just a crazy frog on the point. You know, whatever that song goes, I don't know, but HV's not going to be playing that Torbjorn here, though. Oh my,
right.
Full spam.
Oh, and, you know, I think this is the way you play against their comp. You know, I would like to see like a Zen from Dirty Doge more so than the Brig. You know, more spam for your team. I think this is the way you have to try to play here. Just play on the high ground and just try to play slow enough as to just not play into the brawl style that the Lumberjacks have been so absolutely adept at.
I mean, it's more spam, or, what about to say, but there's less spam going with your Zen, like you said. Now the break can just get run over as well. It's like nobody really stop a dive coming in here. You know what they're going to play. They're going to play this brawl comp again. So I agree, the Zen pick probably would be a little bit better here. But Khan with a nice early pick on MM could stop this aggression, but just running under him. Poetries are forced to drop Khan with another pick here as well. Mikey will eventually clean up the menace on the flank, but does not seem to matter. As Crazy Flames is just trying to do anything here to build up as much ult charge as possibly can, but gets stunned by Fancy and can't build anymore. So you save off that aggression, but the early nice pick on the Melon Milker there, and you know, 1 minute gone is one more attack and no ults to use.
You know, Double Shield often termed as the lamest comp in Overwatch, but I mean, if you want to win, you just got to do what you got to do, and I mean, they're just playing it well. You know, you drop the Orisa when you have to touch the point, and they're just doing the same thing again.
They wall themselves on a point, and Crazy Flames falling pretty weak, but we'll get Grandma. That's a huge source of healing, but the Turf HV set could potentially bring it back in the favor. Has the Molten Core as well, and lays it down, but a huge pen from Treebeard! Stops the Molten Core in his tracks, cools him off, and it looks like that's going to be it here, and Lumberjackslams brings to match point.
Yeah, nice Diva pick there from Crazy Flames. You know, what can eat all that spam? Not a Zarya, but definitely a Diva. And Grandma unfortunately drops down with his Orisa, and it ends up he ends up paying for it with his life. Without that huge healing source up, it's kind of difficult for the Bilbies to really do anything. I mean, yeah, the Bilbies to do anything there.
And I mean, we're going to match point here, and I didn't expect this to go this way. You know, looking at it last week, like the Lumberjackslams victory over the Realtor Windswins, you were wondering, like, oh, you know, they played a slightly illegal roster to get that victory, and it took them 5 maps to do so. Well, the Beebles just absolutely dominated the Otters in a 3-0 series. So I was thinking, you know, perhaps the Bilbies have a bit of an advantage here, but looking at these compositions, looking at this playstyle, the Bilbies have no answer for Lumberjacks right now. And I think that all comes down to, you know, I was going to ask you the question, who would you say MVP? But I think I'd say Treebeard is just putting on the performance we've seen of a lifetime from him so far. And it reminds me a lot of the Saigon Swans upset over the Moon Monkeys last season in the playoffs.
You know, you say that, but, you know, I've seen the support play from the Lumberjacks, and I've been pretty impressed. I mean, Potatoes with excellent resource management with the Moira. You expect a brawl comp with the Moira when going against a brawl comp with the Baptiste to get kind of run over, but I mean, he's able to keep his team alive, having insane healing percentages, and of course Rex, he's landed some nice beats, and of course on Hollywood, he basically won the map for them by just sitting on payload for 40 seconds and burning that clock down.
Yeah, that's very true here as well. I guess if you had to give it MVP, you know, you mentioned a lot of players there. Who would you probably give it to if you had a potential favor heading into map 3?
A potential favorite. I mean, I honestly can't really choose right here. I would probably have to see this map 3 to really make a definitive decision, because the tank play from the Lumberjacks has been phenomenal. I mean, Crazy Flames landing some nice grabs. Of course, you mentioned Treebeard. I mean, he's been pretty lights out. I mean, he, of course, sometimes he doesn't land those shatters, but that's just what's going to happen in a Ryan v Ryan. Sometimes you don't. And I mean, he has landed those massive shatters that do win team fights. It's just really hard to tell who's MVP for the Lumberjacks. They've just been playing so solidly as a team.
Yeah, perhaps this is where we will see that split come through between that tank line. If we do see a potential spam comp coming out here for Junkertown, you know, maybe Crazy Flames plays as Sigma, has a little more pop off than Treebeard, but now Treebeard's saying, nope, I want MVP, and locks the Reinhardt with the Sigma comp. And Pota's going to be on that Mercy, so... You know, they are on the attack, so we can't exactly say this is for sure their composition yet, but we can say that we are seeing that double shield here from Papa Triste and Fancy, and HVSec is going to be on that Widowmaker. Of course, our Season 2 Widowmaker 1v1 champion, HVSec, coming out, and Grandma making a swap over onto the Zen while Dirty Doge takes his Baptiste, so wholesale swaps coming here for the Bilbies. I'm sorry, they have to do something different here, because the first two maps, it was not working.
Yeah, and we're seeing just a mess of spam on the side of the Bilbies, just with every character able to kind of just pelt the enemy with bullets and projectiles. And yeah, as you said,
and as they are coming in here,
Reinhardt, we have double sniper on the side of the Lumberjacks. You know, Junkertown always one of those maps that never really conformed to the meta. You know, it's always that weird map where Brawl didn't really work, Dive didn't really work, so we always saw bunkery compositions.
Yeah, a huge pick there to start off there from MM, though, as Crazy Flames is going to move forward and try to take the space. Papa Triste just sitting there all by her lonesome trying to hold that corner, but it's not going to be enough as they're forced back here. I mean, they do lose the Sigma shield there here, though, and a nice stun from Fancy comes through, so it stays up that aggression for just a little bit longer and allows them to reclaim the high ground here. They are going a bit of a flank, it seems, but it doesn't seem to matter. Dirty Doge is caught off. Can't meet up with the rest of the team, and Rexacta has sniffed out this flank like a Dirty Doge for his team. And I mean, the tank is playing so aggressive here. They're just walking at the double shield, not letting them do anything here. As just look at the ult charge on the tanks compared between these two teams, and you can see what tank line is putting in the work today.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at the tanks the entire time there, and they're just no steps back, just always going forward. You know, maybe they stop a little bit to get heals, but they're just always taking space. Treebeard and Crazy Flames were kind of imposing themselves on the enemy tank line, and I mean, their very existence just makes them makes the Bilbies tank line just back up, and eventually everybody else able to get value on their long-range characters.
And you know, we have MM exploring the sites a little bit there, but Rexacta will find Khan, so a nice play starting up there, and the huge flux up in the air slams him right back down. Grandma has no chance. Get him a new hip after that big slam from Crazy Flames. We'll open this fight right back up yet again, and the high ground positioning is being claimed here. Fancy is going to get caught off here all alone. Absolutely no chance to get out alive as Rexacta is there to meet him on the low ground, give him a bit of a slap and a bit of a slacking as he meets him going down. And I mean, this attack is looking so good out for the Lumberjacks yet again, pushing basically the end of B here with so much time in the bank.
And we're talking about MVPs. I mean, Crazy Flames, I mean, he just kind of opened up that fight and just blew it open with the flux, and once everybody landed, it was basically over. Everybody just solo HP, and you know, we talk about ult economy. I mean, it's still pretty even, 4v5, and Triste goes down really early. That's super bad for the Bilbies. I mean, they're just gonna get another staggered fight. Oh, but Crazy Flames does go down.
They do find Crazy Flames. He was alone on the high ground. Khan able to find him with the Storm Arrow headshots, but there's so many ults as well from the Bilbies, perhaps to potentially stabilize here on the defense. They gotta take this advantage though. They're up one. You're down, or I mean, they're not really up one, but they're down their Sigma. You have the ult, so you gotta push forward here. You're playing so slow. You're playing into the advantage here of the double sniper composition. Here comes that Infrasight as well from MM. Knows exactly where they are and just barely missed a headshot to Khan. Able to dip around, and here comes the Dragon out from Ikey, but so many ults being traded here, but Rexacta has that chance to keep a team alive. It looks like potentially a favorite fight here for the Lumberjackslams as the res comes through as well. So many ults being used. Dirty Doge puts down that window there, but just playing out of sight of it right now. It's going to be Lumberjackslams, and Triste forces the golden form to get back to her team, so It's not over yet, and re-engaging here with the Valkyrie. So many ults. I think 12 ults have been used here in this fight. Nope, Treebeard has a Shatter, so not quite 12 just of yet. We haven't used 11, though. But Treebeard looking to use that Shatter perhaps to open a fight and great for the team. Slam it down, big boy. They have no shields. No! Okay, but they're moving forward here, taking the space. They're not really contesting the card as of yet. Getting around this first corner here. The shields are down. The Shadow could be big. A nice slam or a nice stun out from Crazy Flames will get the Zenyatta Grandma on the floor. And here comes the trance out from Grandpa. Oh, but he has it just in time, but it doesn't even matter. 2 people already gone down for the Bilbies as well as the Resurrect. The Shadow comes down, will lock down one member of the squad, and Fancy gets knocked into the corner, into the windmill. And there we go. I think that was 13 ults being used because someone built the second one that fight.
Yeah, just looking like goats there. Ults being popped off and nothing dying. As you said, Treebeard holding that ultimate for Overwatch 2. In the end, it doesn't really matter as the trans not in time on Crazy Flames and Flux. And this is looking like gonna be like a big cap from the Lumberjacks, but I spoke too early as they're getting picks here.
I mean, they find potatoes, but at the end of the day, Mikey is going absolutely huge on this. Hanzo finding 2 kills of his own. And Rex Acta, you know, is putting in the work on the Zenyatta as well this map, having trances at the perfect timing and getting the picks as well. And 3.5 minutes in the time bank, that's devastating for the Bilbies on their last map pick, or their last chance of making this a series. And it's not looking to be the best of all situations for them right now.
Yeah, I mean, if I could, I would give an MVP to the entire team of the Lumberjacks. They're all doing their own like little things that are helping the team win. The tank lines of Crazy Flames and Treebeard making so much space for their team. The support line providing that damage boost and that Discord. I mean, Rex has 30 assists on the Zenyatta, and of course the DPS are just absolutely popping off. MM and Mikey doing their part in getting the picks that they need on that double sniper composition. It's just really nice team play I'm seeing from the Lumberjacks.
I'll say that Rex Acta alone on that Zenyatta had just about as much damage as the Bilbies DPS duo, you know, individually, and 3 times the amount of damage from the support line coming up from the Bilbies combined. That is a great performance coming through. And like I said, you know, 4,000 heals is not nothing to really sniff at a Zenyatta either in one half of a game, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's... You know, despite it having that low heals composition, you know, you expect your Reinhardt to get blown up without the ability to really speed on to anybody. But, I mean, everybody's just playing so well on the side of the Lumberjacks. If you're the Bilbies, I mean, you're probably thinking, like, okay, this team is way too good for us.
And I don't even know what to call this out from Khan right now. Oh my. Okay, it came and then with an interesting position there. And oh no, oh my! A huge play from Crazy Flames on the flank. And then was just a distraction for the big slam coming through from Crazy Flames there. I mean, I was thinking we could say, I mean, Khan getting spicy being one or something, WHAN did not work out, but I mean, Crazy Flames just going absolutely bonkers on this wrecking ball right now, just putting in so much work. Such disruption.
I mean, what's gonna stop him? There's no stuns. We have Rock on the side of Fancy, but I mean, only one stun isn't really gonna stop 800 HP from a ball.
It's up to Juan to open up this fight here for his team, but MM is there to respond. Oh, Treebeard caught out a little bit alone there without the support. Does not have the off-tank help this time. Rexacta will get stunned, but hits that sleep. But it does not matter. The Bilbies have finally opened up this point. I mean, we say that, but Crazy Flames is still there, just being such a nuisance on this wrecking ball. We'll probably have Minefield here for the last second contest.
Yeah, we didn't really mention the compositions both teams were running too thoroughly, but yeah, the Lumberjack composition is kind of weird. I mean, that Reinhardt is just a sitting duck. I would prefer to see maybe like a Sigma ball composition with your double snipers with the Ana Mercy. But I mean, the comp is just so weird to play.
Here comes a slam out from Crazy Flames to open up the fight, but Treese is building towards that shatter real quick, and Treebeard flying so low. Khan will fall, but it probably won't matter here in the long run as both the tanks are still alive here. A huge swing through from Treese will find Rexacta. The last second Shamak from the Fly Swatter, and Treese chose the right time to spec her. She's getting all the final blows. Call her the janitor. She's just cleaning up this fight right now. Get a 4K for her. Give her 5 perhaps. The minefield comes out from Crazy Flames, but it doesn't look like it's quite going to be enough here as Mateus falls, and it's just Crazy Flames rolling around on cart. Can't really do much, and that perhaps signifies a swap coming through.
Yeah, I think you're right. Crazy Flame's probably just saying, you know, the ball ain't working out. I'm just gonna swap characters to something that more fits our playstyle or our composition. You know, he goes Diva, which makes a little bit more sense to the ball. And you know, I think Lumberjacks, you had that weird composition for first, but now you play actual Overwatch here on this second point.
The Inversight is going to be popped here by Khan, and HVSec sees him and looking for that flank angle, but can't get anything. Right side does not quite hit that sleep in time, and Khan will find Mikey, so DPS difference of the Swans is being asserted. But the Nano Diva in the backline could stall this defense or stall the attack a little bit longer. It does look, oh, a nice rock from Fancy there on Potatoes. We'll take that Mercy out of the fight, and Rexad desperately tries to touch the cart. The Shadow comes over Treeber, knocks out 2 members, but does force the beat out from Dirty Doge. But there's just too much damage being put out here from the Bilbies for that beat to really mean anything. And, I mean, another pretty big fight when they're coming out for the Bilbies, force out that Nano early.
I was talking about how good the teamwork for the Lumberjacks was, but I mean, the Bilbies kind of waking up here. Khan on that Widowmaker getting that early pick. And Fancy is putting up absolutely staggering stats for this attack here.
That he is, and I mean, you have HV side versus Mike on the Tracer, and Mike's going to win that, but cannot touch the cart in time. They will cap C, and now they're down 4v6 here, and they're going to get pushed as they are starting to move out here. I mean, Khan has been doing pretty good as Widowmaker. They will get Mikey as well. Fancy, like you said, putting some staggering stats here, has basically doubled his damage here done in just the first 2 points of the defense. Crazy Flames again making a swap over on the Sigma. So many swaps, so little time, and not an ultimate speak for it here. And we're going to be looking at perhaps a very comparable time bank advantage for both teams that can get this through, as Fancy has a Grodic Flux here ready to put up in the corner. We'll drop out that Flux. The Shadow comes through for Teresa, knocks down 1. And that's a 1K for Crazy Flames. That is going to be enough as Fancy goes in the back line and putting out so much work. The Bob is late there from MM. Not going to get too much, but they do find Grandma and Dirty Dosha. Both supports are down. Now Mikey is there to contest the cart, but goes down as Fancy puts in the spam.
Yeah, you say the Bob was late, which is true, but in the end, it does get 2 picks. This recontest is probably just guaranteed for the Lumberjacks. I mean, a 6v4 basically right now.
It's a 6v4 and Tree stays like 1 HP.
So low. Yeah.
She's forced to retreat there, and Creeper built towards that Shadow, but Khan will find Potatoes. That's a huge pick to start the fight off here from Khan. And now HV Side close to that Pulse Bomb, could look to drop it down and get another pick, but Creeper has that Shatter. Can we see a miracle coming through from the player? And another even Crazy Flames. That's 2 straight Pulse Bombs being eaten by that off-tank Legend, but Mikey will get 1 in return right in a Fancy. But Tracy cannot keep that shield up at the spam of Crazy Flames, and Grandma forced to retreat up onto the windmill, and 3 minutes left in the time bank, but finally a stabilization here for the defense.
Yeah, Khan with the early pick, but in the end, as you say, Crazy Flames with a huge eat on the Pulse Bomb, and then Mikey just getting Fancy, who's unable to eat the Pulse Bomb, and they are able to equalize. And you know, despite Treebeard, I was waiting for him to land that big Shatter, but they're still able to hold that ultimate, and it's looking like this is going to be a pretty rough attack here.
Yeah, you're pushing in 4 ults here, all of them potentially fight-winning ultimates here. Crazy Flames with an early Grodic Flux, lunges forward into the air and sends them all down. The beat is matched, but the Immortal Field is there as well. Both cooldowns used for the supports, and now it's time for MM with a big high noon. Doesn't get anything as Fancy is there with the eat. The big take, ults coming through here. Fancy with a big slam. The beat there is there from Rexad though, and Potatoes has that coalesce, but does not matter as 2 kills come in favor here. The Shadow comes down into a shield of Tree Stay, but the counter charge is there to get mashed, and the Pulse Bomb though not eaten this time. That's a 3v6 here on the cart in favor of the Bilbies, and it finally looks like they've broken through here, and so many ults being traded there, but Khan still has that high noon and Grandma still has the window. MM?
Here onto HC, but it's looking to be quite over here unless Mikey can make some magic happen. Good ultimate usage by the Bilbies on that previous fight, and Khan popping this ultimate here, unable to get anything.
Unable to get anything, does barely any damage to Crazy Flame shields. Oh, a nice play there! They stick Fancy, and then Crazy Flames boops him back into Grandma. So a huge coordination there out from Mikey and Crazy Flames on this ball Tracer composition. And with 1 minute left in the time bank, you expended almost everything there for the Bilbies, and it's getting to look kind of rough.
Yeah, the wombo combo there, as you say, Crazy Flames, nice boop, and it is able to net 2 kills on that Pulse Bomb, which basically saved that recontest there. I mean, you know, it's looking pretty rough for the Lumberjacks, but they're now coming on to last fight territory, which spells doom for the Bilbies.
I mean, yeah, Fancy almost has another Gravitic Flux here, but oh no, Dirty Doge goes down, 95% to his beat. They have to retreat this. They cannot fight this here as Crazy Flames goes aggressive yet again. They're just pushing so much forward. The Lumberjacks do not know the word of no. And here they push forward. Finally forced to retreat. The S key is pressed for about the first time here in a while.
Now we're coming up on both support ults on both teams. It's gonna be a slugfest of a last fight. I mean, everybody's getting their ultimates now. It's gonna be nice. As the stun comes in from MM's canceling Flux.
Yeah, MM with a big Flux, and Treestays knocks down Crazy Flames, but the High Noon from MM protects the main tank. And what a charge from Treebeard! It knocks Treestay into the mines by right checking it on the shoulder. So a huge play from him again, and this looks to be a 3-0 here for the Lumberjacks. As Fancy goes down, as Fancy's the only one left on cart here. Almost 15,000 damage, but not enough to win the map. As Treestay does get back here on the ball, but it's just desperation touches at this point. Absolutely no chance of getting this map completion from the looks of it. Mikey has a pulse bomb as well. Gravitic, or the Immortality Field used there. And I mean, there's just too many ultimates for the side of the, oh my goodness, the Lumberjacks as a charge comes through again from Treebeard. And that is going to be our series.
Yeah,
3-0.
Yeah, dominant 3-0. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, it was just a great showing from the Lumberjacks. Everybody doing their part. It was a nice match to watch if you're a Lumberjacks fan. They just played super well.
I think this kind of throws everybody's power rankings into a bit of a jumble here because, you know, people were pretty high on the Bilbies because of the strong performance from Fancy last week as well as the 3-0. And kind of were like, you know, the Lumberjackslams are like, oh, you know, maybe they're not the best because Crazy Flames had to go absolutely insane to win that match against the Rincewinds last week, but it did not seem to matter. This week, everybody did their part, and they took home a strong 3-0, making them 2-0 and setting themselves off very strongly here for our Rumble in the Junegle playoffs.
And, you know, now, of course, having to crown an MVP, personally, I can't pick. Like, everybody played so well on the side of the Lumberjacks, but I think with that last map, I really liked the tank play better. You know, the support's obviously playing very well, but I think my pick would go to Crazy Flames in the end.
It's so close for me, and Crazy Flames got it last week, so we could give it to him.
We could.
But Treebeard also played very well and didn't get it last week. So, I mean...
You know, as
you know
the
what?
commissioner, I'm giving you the executive decision.
I'm going to bring them both in.
Alright, we got co-MVPs.
Just because I feel like it.
Hello.
There they are, the tank line of the London Lumberjackslams. We could not decide which one of you to give the MVP to today, so you're both getting the interview here to shine and show off your stuff as you put on one great performance here in front of everybody against a pretty strong team everyone's considered. They're pretty high on the Bilbies, and you come out here and just put the smack down at a 40-minute match for the 3-0.
Yeah, you know, I think our DPS, you know, Mikey was really putting in some good work there too, so he was definitely doing some good work. Tank, yeah, we were on the same page for the most part. Tanks and DPS. I think everyone was just working together real well.
Yeah, there was some really good call outs and such, and we were able to actually focus fire, which I think helped a lot. So
All right, I will start off with a question here. I'll trade you this one to Treebeard. You had to go up against your boy from last season, your carry, your MVP player in the Conzo today, and you know you both really shut them down. So like, what did you guys do, you know, to really shut down Khan this match? Because it seemed like he was non-existent for most of the maps today.
I mean, for the most part, I have my shield up. That's for me anyways, but a lot of times I think it was just kind of, that was the target most of the time. If Khan was gone, we pushed. If not, we play safe, I think was more or less the vibe. And it kind of made it so we didn't do anything until he was gone. So
Yeah, and I want to say, like, you notice that I think on Hollywood is a little bit closer there, and that was a lot because of the high ground and how much they were holding the high ground with Khan there. So when he didn't have as much high ground to abuse, it was a lot easier, especially for me when I was playing ball on Junkertown, and you know, and Mikey and the other guys being able to, you know, go get up in Khan's face. I think that was helping out too.
I guess my next question is for Mr. Crazy Flames over here. I saw you just swapping tanks left and right. Not a bad thing because you're just popping off on basically all of them. But like, do you guys just have like these compositions that you know you're gonna run, or do you just kind of like wing and say, I want to play this character. I think this character is really good.
It's I'm more so winging it for the most part. We were feeling pretty good by map 3, so that's kind of why I was just kind of I was on some off picks there. I really thought ball could work though too with what the comp they were playing against too. So a lot of it was kind of a hey, I'm gonna play ball. Anyone got a problem with that? And so far we had no issues, so it's working out.
The benefits of Ryan kind of working as main tank with any off tank.
That's true.
All right. The question, of course, that you always get asked: if it couldn't be you two, who would you give MVP to on your team? There are some pretty standout players today, Mikey, of course, but there's also putting in the work and going toe to toe with Khan on a lot of these maps, and then as well as your just strong support line. So it could be really anybody. I'd like to see what you guys have to say.
For me, just because I was working very well with him. Me and Mikey were definitely on the same wavelength pretty much the entire match. So I would have to give it to Mikey, but I do think that the support line was really good as well as DPS as well. So
I was gonna say Mikey and were doing both like crazy good a lot of times, but dear God, Jacob on the Moira.
That's true. He did build some good ults.
Yeah. The man, the legend. I mean, I swear. I would give it to Jacob, our wonderful captain, because the healing output from that man.
Absolutely huge. I'm trying to open the schedule real quick because I want to ask you guys one more question, because you do have one more match here in the Rumble in the Jungle, and it is going to be up against the Oceania Otters, who are 0-2. So you guys are looking to have a pretty strong going into our first ever tournament here. I'm going to ask you a pretty stupid question, but what are your expectations as we actually move into our elimination games, which you guys will be pretty top seeded?
I think as long as we keep doing our thing, I think we're going to do really well. We just I think the biggest issue for us is availability, making sure everyone's available to play. So, as long as we get that sorted out and everyone comes and shows up and plays good, I think we're going to do just fine.
Yep. Because the same things, yeah. As long as all of us can be there, we're good to go. So, I think it'll go pretty well.
All right, sounds good.
All right, yep.
All right, thank you guys for the interview. As always, very good, well played. Go up to 2-0 and get a pretty good 3-0 as well to help you in the tiebreakers, because we do have a lot of 2-0 teams right now. So a lot of teams are going to be vying for those top spots as we move into our actual tournament. But for everybody here, we thank you all so much for watching this match between the Bendigo Bilbies and the London Lumberjackslams, which the Lumberjackslams took in a staggering 3-0 fashion against me and Meme Supreme's initial thoughts before the match. And so for Meme Supreme, I've been your play-by-play caster, Booney, and thank you so much all for tuning in. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great rest of your night.